Hey folks, I'm just a guy sharing stories, but before we dive in, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe. It helps more than you know. Now, let's settle in and enjoy today's spooky story. Did you know that over 50% of fatal car accidents happen at night? But sometimes, what happens on those dark, lonely roads isn't an accident. Have you ever felt like someone, or something, was watching you while driving at night? Let me tell you about Adam. Adam was just a regular guy, a delivery driver working late shifts to make some extra cash. One night, he was driving home on a long stretch of road, one of those routes where you could go miles without seeing another car. The clock on his dashboard read 2:13 a.m. He was exhausted, but he only had about 20 minutes left to go, or so he thought. As he drove, Adam noticed something odd. In his rearview mirror, he saw headlights. No big deal, right? Except these headlights weren't steady. They'd appear for a few minutes, then disappear. At first he thought it was just a car turning off at a side road, but when it happened for the third time, Adam couldn't shake the feeling that he was being followed. His heart began to race. He tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was a truck, and the driver was just being weird. But then he noticed something truly strange. Every time the headlights disappeared, the road behind him looked darker than it should have, like something was eating up the light. Adam decided to test a theory. He slowed down, hoping the car would pass him, but it didn't. The headlights stayed back just far enough to keep him guessing, and then, suddenly, they were gone again. Only this time, Adam realized they weren't just behind him anymore. He glanced to his left. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw it. A shadowy figure running alongside his car. It wasn't human. Its limbs were too long, its movements too fast. It was keeping pace with him at 60 miles per hour, its glowing eyes locked on his face. Panicked, Adam floored the gas pedal. He didn't care about speed limits or cops. He just wanted to get away. But the faster he went, the closer the thing seemed to get. Its face pressed against his window now, its mouth twisting into a grin that didn't belong on any living thing. And then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, it was gone. No sound, no trace. Adam kept driving, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. He didn't stop until he was safely in his driveway. But here's the thing. When he got out of the car, he noticed long, claw-like scratches running down the side of his vehicle. Our story starts with Alex, a regular guy driving home after a late-night shift. It was a route he'd taken 100 times before, a long stretch of forested highway with no streetlights, just endless darkness. He was about an hour from home when his radio suddenly cut out, replaced by static. Annoyed, Alex fiddled with the dial, but no matter what station he chose, the static stayed. Weird, he thought, chalking it up to poor reception. And then he saw it, a figure standing in the middle of the road. His heart jumped into his throat as he slammed on the brakes. The car skidded, tires screeching, but when he came to a stop, the figure was gone. He sat there, breathing heavily, scanning the road in front of him. Nothing. No one. Just the quiet, empty stretch of highway. I must have imagined it, he told himself, but deep down, he wasn't so sure. Shaking it off, Alex started driving again, but the unease lingered. The static on the radio grew louder, almost deafening, and then, just as suddenly as it started, it stopped. That's when he heard the knock. It came from the back seat. Alex froze. His knuckles turned white as he gripped the steering wheel. He didn't dare look in the rearview mirror. It's just my mind playing tricks, he whispered to himself. But then the knock came again, louder this time. He couldn't take it anymore. In one swift motion, he spun around. The back seat was empty. No one was there. His relief was short-lived. As he turned back to the road, a face appeared inches from his windshield, pale and distorted, with hollow black eyes. Alex screamed and swerved, the car skidding off the road and into the ditch. When Alex woke up, he was still in his car, now eerily quiet. The windshield was cracked, but the figure was gone. Gathering his courage, he stepped out, his flashlight cutting through the darkness. He circled the car, his heart pounding in his chest, but found nothing, no sign of the figure, no footprints, nothing. But as he climbed back into the driver's seat, his flashlight flickered, illuminating the rearview mirror, and there it was, sitting in the back seat, smiling.